Food is the ingredient that binds us together. So, hello everyone. Myself, Kamalika Sarkar, and my team members are going to present you a very interesting topic: food preservation by thermal treatment. So, what is food preservation? Food preservation is the process of treating and handling food in such a way so as to prevent food spoilage, food poisoning, and microbial contamination while maintaining nutritional value, texture, and flavor. Now the questions come. Why do we preserve food? So firstly, to have constant supply of seasonal fruit and vegetables. Secondly, to minimize the wastage of food, as more than 40% of the food are going to trash every year. Thirdly, every year population increases but agriculture production is not maintaining up to rate. So, now I am going to discuss about the main objective of food preservation. So, firstly, removal of unwanted matter such as food soil, which is generally present in food surfaces. Secondly, making food safe for consumption and also to increase the digestibility and to improve color, texture, and flavor. The most important point, minimizing nutritional loss. Steaming is one of the best methods for preserving nutrition. Then comes extending shelf life of food. Freezing is the most preferable method for extending shelf life. Increasing adaptability to fabricated food. Fabricated food generally comprises a mixture of components made up of lipids, protein, simple and complex carbohydrates, emulsifier and salt, which are capable of interacting with each other and modifying the final characteristic of food. At last, as I have already discussed, to prevent microbial contamination, food spoilage and food poisoning. What is thermal processing? Thermal processing is a commercial technique used to sterilize food through the use of high temperature. The primary purpose of thermal processing is to destroy microbial activity, reduce or destroy enzyme activity, and to produce physical or chemical changes to make the food meet a certain quality standard. And also the specific amount of time required depends upon the specific food and the food habits of the enzyme or microbes. Thermal processing is classified as by addition of heat and secondly by removal of heat. Addition of heat includes blanching, pasteurization, sterilization, ohmic heating, and by removal of heat includes freezing, chilling, icing, and freeze drying. Some of the scientists who invented thermal processes are Nicholas Appert, who developed a method for preserving food in sealed glass. Leuset, he showed the spoilage of food was essentially a process of oxidation which could be prevented by exclusion of air from the container. Then Louis Pasteur, who invented the word pasteurization, which means treatment of food at high temperature for killing microorganisms present in the food. At last, Peter Durand, he invented canning of food.
There are many methods in which heat is involved for food preservation, and one of which is blanching. Blanching is the treatment of fruits and vegetables with boiling water or steam for a short period of time, followed by the cooling process. It can be like the product could be set at 100 degrees centigrade for 2 to 5 minutes, dipping that in hot water, which is enough, and then followed by the dipping that in cold water. But note that the hard water should not be used for blanching, as it toughens the tissues and destroys the natural texture of the food. Blanching is beneficial because it decreases the microbial load, increases the heat energy in the material, which could help in processing steps, improving textures, retaining colors, stabilizing weight in the final product, and also it arrests the enzyme activities. The indicator enzymes for blanching are catalase, peroxidase, epoxygenase, etc. The method for blanching is as follows. The temperature for blanching is typically done between 100 degrees centigrade. Here is the procedure. First, we could prepare for an ice bath for the food. Put water and ice into a large bowl or into a clean sink. Then heat a large pot of water. Amount could be 1 gallon per pound of food that is to be blanched. Remember to add salt to the water because the water should be very salty. Then immerse the food into the boiling water for a specific amount of time. After that, remove the food to the ice bath section to cool quickly. And at last, once it is cooled, remove the food from there and dry it. Mostly the vegetables take between 2 to 5 minutes for blanching, as it is shown in the figures at the right side. Now coming to types of blanching, specifically there are two types of blanching, water and steam. In water blanching, vegetables are often blanched in the hot water to enhance their natural green color as well as softening them, etc. It has many advantages. It cleanses bones from dirt, such as blanching for making stock. It makes the vegetable easy to peel, such as blanching a tomato. Prepares half-cooked ingredients such as pasta and vegetables. Vegetable salads such as green beans, asparagus, etc. Food preservation such as frozen vegetables, fruits, and canning vegetables or fruits such as spinach, green beans, corn, peach, etc. could be figured out through water blanching. In steam blanching, the process is: first choose a pan that comfortably fits your steaming basket with the lid on. Place the water in the bottom of the pan and bring it to the full boil. Add the steamer basket containing your prepared vegetables or fruits and cover the pan very tightly. Be careful to the process so as to not to overcook the produce. The thumb rule is that this will be about half of the cooking time as we normally use to fully cook the food. Another types of blanching methods are microwave blanching, which is developed due to the important findings that were retention of ascorbic acid and carotene. It also requires a short processing time as compared to the others, and to overcome the limitations it has been combined with the water blanching. Second is gas blanching. The hot gas blanching is done by combustion of flue gases with addition of steam to increase humidity, and product dehydration is also studied. The approach is not currently used in industries as it needs much more further researches. Now we should also have a knowledge on the machines used for blanching in the industrial fields or maybe at the localities. One is basket type food blanching machine. This type of food blanching machine is ideal equipment, mainly used for blanching and sterilizing of easily breakable products such as asparagus, mushrooms, and fruit slices. Second one is steam blancher. It provides vegetable processors with all the advantages of steam blanching and eliminates significant problems associated with the older blanching technologies. Another one is hot water blancher. They just holds food in hot water at 70 to 100 degrees Celsius for a specified set time.
I am Rituparna Das and I am going to talk on pasteurization. So pasteurization is developed by Louis Pasteur in 1864 to improve the keeping qualities of wine. It is a process of heating liquid media to a specific temperature for a certain period of time to kill all pathogenic bacteria as per possible. Milk, cream, fruit juices, also alcoholic beverage are subjected to kill pathogenic bacteria. Since pasteurization is not a sterilization and does not kill all spores, a second pasteurization will extend the keeping quality by killing spores that have germinated. Pasteurization is done because of to kill all pathogenic organisms, to improve keeping qualities, and to improve shelf life without serve a damage to color, flavor, and nutritional value. Now come to the type of pasteurization. The first is thermization. Heat the milk to between 57 degrees Celsius to 68 degrees Celsius and hold for 15 minutes. Thermization targets pathogenic bacteria while leaving the good bacteria in the product. The low temperature do not alter the structure and taste of the milk. The second is batch pasteurization, also known as low temperature long time pasteurization. Heat the milk to 63 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. The extending holding time causes the alteration in the milk protein structure and taste. Third is flash pasteurization, also known as high temperature short time pasteurization. Heat the milk between 72 degrees Celsius to 74 degrees Celsius for 15 to 20 seconds. Target resistant pathogenic bacteria spores, that is Clostridium botulinum spores. The last is ultra high temperature pasteurization. Heat the milk between 35 degrees Celsius to 140 degrees Celsius for 3 to 4 seconds. The extreme heat targets Coxiella burnetii, which causes Q fever. The heat kills all vegetative forms of bacteria and milk can survive up to 9 months. Here is some example of pasteurized product with time and temperature. Methods of pasteurization. Pasteurization is a process that is widely used in dairy industry. There are two methods for pasteurization. The first is continuous method. Continuous process has several advantages over the vat method. The most important being time and energy saving. For most continuous process, a high temperature short time pasteurizer is used. The heat treatment is accomplished using a plate heat exchanger. The steel plates complete together in a frame. There are several flow patterns used. Gaskets are used to define the boundaries of the channels and to prevent leakage. The heating medium can be vacuum, steel or hot water. By using data obtained from the experiment, I am just going to give you a rough idea of milk pasteurization. The sequence with a few key parts highlighted in red. The milk follows the orange path from left to right and then back again. The stream is injected through the green lines. Let's just start. Cool raw milk enters through a float tank that is marked 1 yellow on the left at the temperature of about 4 to 5 degrees Celsius. It follows through a heat exchanger called regenerator that is marked as 2, passing close to pasteurized milk that follows outward. The two milk pipes exchange their heat. The incoming milk is warmed up to 38 degrees Celsius and the outgoing milk is cooled down. Now the warm milk passes through preheater fed that marked as 3 steam pipes green and warms to 54 degrees Celsius. The milk enters the pasteurization loop marked out by 7, 8, 12 and 13. It's moved along by pump 7. More steam is injected to 8 to heat it 72 degrees Celsius. And it follows around a long loop that is marked as 12 for 15 seconds to keep it out that temperature long enough for pasteurization to occur. At a point 13, a valve detects whether the milk is hot enough for pasteurization. If not, it's diverted up around the purple loop and back around the circuit until it is. Once the milk has been successfully pasteurized, it follows into a separator that is marked as 18, still at 72 degrees Celsius, where flash cooled is about 53 degrees Celsius and deodorized. A pump that marked as 20 sends the partly cooled milk through a regenerator too, so it cools further to 7 degrees Celsius as it gives up its heat to incoming milk. A refrigeration unit that is marked as 21 chills it to its final temperature for bottling or longer time storage. Now the second part is batch method. The batch method uses a vat pasteurizer which consists a jacketed vat surrounded by either circulating water with added steam or heating coils of water or direct steam. In the vat, the milk is heated and held throughout the holding period while being agitated. The milk may be cooled in vat or removed hot water after holding time is completed for every particle. As a modification, the milk may be partially heated in tubular or plate heater before entering the vat. This method has very little use for milk but some use for milk byproducts, that is cream, chocolate and special batches. The vat pasteurizer is extensively used in ice cream industry as it allows to dissolution and blending ingredients during the heating stage. Effectiveness of pasteurization. If the heat treatment is sufficient to denature the enzymes, it is confirmation that all pathogen microbes have been killed in the process properly. Pasteurized milk should produce a negative result for peroxidase test. Now comes to the advantage of pasteurization. Capacity to treat milk quickly and adequately while maintaining rigid quality control over both raw and finished product. Milk packaging can start as soon as milk is pasteurized. Easily clean, sanitized system acts itself CIP. Lower operating cost due to the regeneration of CIP. Now what is CIP? CIP means clean in place. CIP consists of 5 steps. The first step is pre-rinse. The pre-rinse is very important step in CIP process. because a well-monitored and well-executed pre-rinse makes the rest of the wash cycle predictable and repeatable. The second step is alkali wash. Caustic washes softens fat, make them easier to remove. Also known as caustic soda, sodium hydroxide or NaOH, the alkali used in caustic washes has a very high pH in concentration range 0.5 to 2%. The third is intermediate rinse. The fresh water flushes out residual traces of detergent remaining the caustic wash. Use proper instrumentation during each step of CIP cycle, including the rinsing, ensure the proper killing. The fourth step is acid rinsing, may be required to help kill microorganisms before starting next production. For many years, various of hypochlorite solution, potassium, sodium, calcium, also known as hypo, have been used as sanitizer in CIP process. Last is final rinse. Rinse with the DI, RO or CT water to flushes residual agents. In many systems, final rinse water may be recovered and reused as the pre-rinse solution. The disadvantage: the system is not well adapted to handling small quantities of liquid milk products. Gasket requires constant attention for possible damage and lacks sanitization.
Sterilization. In simple words, it is the complete destruction of all living microorganisms by heat treatments. Now going to types of sterilizations. First one is sterilization with moist heat. In this technique, temperatures generally range from 110 degree to 130 degrees Celsius, with sterilization times being from 20 to 40 minutes. For example, canned foods are sterilized in an autoclave at about 121 degree for 20 minutes. Second one is sterilization with dry heat. It is used for killing bacterial endospores by dry heat. Longer exposure times, example up to 2 hours, and higher temperature, example up to 160 degree to 180 degrees Celsius, are required as compared with moist heat. Specifically, it is done at hot air oven. Third one is sterilization by chemical means. Chemicals could also work as a helpful ingredient for it. For example, ethylene oxide is used to sterilize food and also plastics, glassware, etc. Now coming to commercial sterilizations, or we can say canning, we, instead of killing all the microorganisms in the food, we could use the canner that may kill all those who could spoil the food under normal conditions of storage, and also may leave some that are unable to grow, make the food commercially sterile. Canned foods are made commercially sterile and not only sterile, as to preserve more nutritional values, appearance, and to save energy and cost. During canning, spore-forming mesophilic, thermoduric, anaerobic organisms are killed at the center, that is the coldest point of the can. The canning process could be explained as: first the raw materials are selected, then they are washed properly, and then they are graded as good and bad product. Then blanching is done for the good products. After that, peeling preparations of the materials are done, specifically with 10 to 15% NaOH or KOH at temperature 60 to 90 degrees Celsius. Filling is done in the cans with type of packing, coverage of liquids, specifications, etc. Exhausting and vacuumization is done. Then canned is sealed properly with no defects. Coding is done. Then retort operations are done, like sterifilm process, where it is again heated. Then it is cooled, and at last labeling is done up to the storage process. We can observe the process in the given figure also in the right.
Ohmic heating. Ohmic heating is also known as Joule heating, resistance heating, or electroconductive heating. Ohmic heating is where you pass an electric current to a food product and it heats up just like an electric range must heat up when you pass an electric current through it, and so the food basically heats up from inside. In ohmic heating, we heat up entirely and uniformly throughout the product, and therefore we produce a much better product at the end. And it is useful for the treatment of proteinaceous food. Juices can also be treated to inactivate enzyme which affecting the flavor. The advantages of ohmic heating are: it produces better quality food product, and it takes less cooking time, and also it has reduced maintenance cost because of the lack of moving parts. And the most important, it is environment friendly process. Now the limitations of ohmic heating are: It has limited viscosity, conductivity, and a higher viscosity fluid will provide more resistance to heating. Also, overheating leads to a destruction of nutrients and decreased
Hey,
flavor.
I am Sanjeev Kumar. Now I am going to tell you about process time calculation. Microorganisms can grow only over a restricted range of temperature. Due to temperature rise above the bearing temperature for microorganisms, cells are injured and killed as the key cellular components are destroyed and cannot be replaced. This occurs at an increasing rate when the temperature increases. This thermal death of microorganism is first order process is at a given lethal temperature. The rate of death depends upon the number of the viable cell represent. We can express this mathematically as here n is equal to the number of viable microorganisms. Rate of decrease of number of viable is directly proportional to the number of viable. On integrating both sides at time is equal to 0, we get ln n by n naught is equal to minus kt, where k is proportionality constant. If we convert into log form, then equation is log n is equal to minus kt plus log n naught. That equation explains that a plot of log of the number of surviving cells at a given temperature against time should give a straight line with negative slope, which is dependent on the temperature. That equation also explains the number of microorganisms in a heated suspension is plotted against the time of heating at a constant temperature. In semi-log graph paper, a plot will be a straight line, and that is called thermal dead time curve. What is thermal dead time curve? Thermal dead time curve is defined as the time required to kill a culture of microorganism at a specific temperature at a specific condition. The TDT refers to the shortest period organism at a specific temperature and a specific height condition. Decimal reduction time. The symbol D is used for the decimal reduction time. It is defined as the time at a specified temperature under a specified condition for a surviving population to be reduced. One log cycle of the 90% of initial load is destroyed. The temperature at which the D value is applied is indicated by the subscript. D65 represents that decimal reduction time is observed at 650 Celsius. From the TDT curve, we can obtain D value. It is reciprocal of the slope, as slope is minus k, hence the reciprocal of the slope is minus 1 by k. D is equals to T2 minus T1 divided by log N1 minus log N2, which is delta T divided by log N1 minus log N2. Now here, what is Z value? As the temperature increases, slope of TDT curve increases. Thus the value of K increases, but D value decreases with the increase in the temperature. This is an exponential process over a range of the temperature used in the heat processing of food, so that the plotting log D against the temperature gives a straight line. From this curve, we can derive Z value. Z value is defined as the temperature change which results in tenfold one log change in D per unit time. A graph is drawn on the log D by 10 against the temperature called the thermal resistance curve. The slope of the line of this graph Z value, where Z is equal to T1 minus T2 divided by log D1 minus log D2. Z value is defined as the number of the degree of the temperature must be represented to the cause 1 log cycle of the decimal reduction. The unit of Z value is degree temperature of Fahrenheit. Thermal resistance characteristics of the organism is given by Z value, as it shows effect of temperature on D. And here is the graph which represent the equation Z is equals to T1 minus T2 divided by log D1 minus D2. Now, what is F value? It is the equivalent heating time for a process. It is a parameter which expresses the integrated lethal effect of heat process in terms of minute at a given temperature. It is the time in minutes to diminish a population with a specific Z value at a particular temperature. The time of heating of a culture of a microorganism at a given temperature necessary to achieve a desired degree of the sterilization is known as F value. The process literally during the heating and cooling phases of the canned food. It is necessary to know the relationship between coldest point temperature and time, also called the heat penetration curve or temperature time history. The value F value designed in process based on a particular types of microorganism. FZ121 is equals to 4 suggests equivalent instantaneous heating to 1210 degrees Celsius for 4 minutes and cool instantly to achieve desired sterilization. D is equals to T2 minus T1 is divided by log n1 minus log n2. If we calculate from here F value, F is equals to D divided by log n0 minus log n. And here is the graph which represent y-axis microbial count and x-axis time. F value is a specific microorganism is the product of the desired sterilizing value SB and the D value. F value is the theoretical value.
Thermal processing by removal of heat is a preservative process in which we increase the shelf life of food products. In order to operate this process, we need to maintain low temperature. At low temperature, growth of microorganisms is hindered. Enzymatic and chemical reaction also fall. As per Arrhenius equation, rate is temperature dependent. Thus, if we reduce the temperature, reaction rate will be decreased and we obtained our motive. Next one is freezing, in which temperature of a food is reduced to freezing point with the help of refrigerant. It should be chemically unreactive and safe. Usually used CFC, chlorofluorocarbon, and dry ice. Preservative achieved due to combination of low temperature and reduced water activity. Some portion of water changes in state to form ice crystal. Objective of freezing. The main objective of freezing is to prevent growth of microorganisms by killing some bacteria, reducing water activity, mechanical formation of ice crystal, and osmotic changes in cell fluid. Principle of freezing. Temperature at the thermal center of a food when heat is removed. Freezing curve as you seen. AB, reducing the temperature to freezing point. Time to require to bring down the temperature of a body from room temperature to freezing temperature. At B, latent heat of freezing is removed. BC, constant rate of freezing where temperature is fixed but freezing point reaches the core. At C, where all waste is frozen. CD, bring down the temperature of desired temperature from freezing point. Categories of freezing. Slow freezing. The advantage and disadvantage of slow freezing is that it takes time 5 to 6 hours up to 24 hours. Degree of supersaturation is low, cheaper, product damage more, drip loss maximum, size of ice crystals formed is bigger. While in the case of fast freezing, it takes nearly 2 hours, number of ice crystals formed is more, degree of supersaturation is high, product damage is less, costlier, drip loss minimum. Here two type of freezer is discussed. First one, air blast freezer. It is a batch type freezer in which air is cooled down to minus 30 degrees centigrade. Second one is plate freezer. It is a continuous type freezer in which the freezing temperature is minus 45 degrees centigrade. Chilling. Chilling is considered as the reduction of temperature to some point below or above the freezing point of water. It doesn't stop spoilage but slows it down considerably. It includes wet ice, loose ice, refrigerated air, dry ice. Freeze drying or lyophilization. It is a low temperature dehydration process that involves freezing the product, lowering pressure, then removing the ice by sublimation. Microwave heating. It is a new age technology in which a multi-physics phenomenon that involves electromagnetic waves and heat transfer. Any material that is exposed to electromagnetic radiation will be heated up. Microwave works indirectly on microorganisms.
Processed food have many chemicals in them. and disease came out every day. Our diet has depended on processed food, whose results obesity rate has increases and also the cancer possibility have risen up. A solution to this problem is that we should change our eating habit. We can eat processed food once or twice a month. Certainly not every day. We should eat healthy foods that won't cause diseases. At last, I would like to thank everyone for watching our video and please don't forget to like and subscribe our channel.